It's brought to you by our good friends over at MyBookie. That's mybookie.ag. The Masters is back, and there's money to be made. Golf's most iconic tournament tees off this week, and MyBookie is the ultimate spot to cash in on every swing, upset, and Sunday charge. Outrights, matchups, live betting, long bombs, long shot bombs. MyBookie, money bag. If there's an edge, you'll find it here. Go to MyBookie and use the promo code MM50. That's MM50. And if you deposit any amount, $50 up to $2,000, you'll get half matched instantly by using that promo code. No waiting, and you don't need to bet to receive it. Just bonus cash right away. Again, that promo code is MM50. If you're not ready for Augusta, you also could be ready for some UFC this weekend. UFC 314. Michael Chandler, will he be able to get the matchup win this weekend? Bet anytime, bet anything, bet anywhere, only at MyBookie. So LSU, after a break, is back on the gridiron. They're back on the gridiron today. Let's get to this. Sydir Mitchell did leave practice early today with an injury. Looked like he had hyperextended his leg. Did not look good. What appeared to not look very good, and a guy that did go in the locker room today did reemerge from what I understand, and later on in practice and went along the sidelines with helmet and pads. It's a very good sign. It would seem that the injury's not bad. Sit him out because, look, before that situation occurred, and Sydir Mitchell today at practice, so in case you missed it, Sydir Mitchell did hyperextend his leg at practice. Guys, it's practice. Sometimes you'll have these freakouts. It seems as if at the current moment, I don't know the ultimate status right now. I do not know. What I do know is that he did come back to the sidelines, and if he was really hurt, he wouldn't have gone back out there with helmet and shoulder pads. At least I would be dumbfounded. So you need him before the injury for Sydir Mitchell. I thought today was just yet another day that you got in a situation in double team drills and where the offensive line is working on double teams and getting to the second level. Sydir Mitchell had some really good reps. I think Scarborough posted a video. I would be interested. I did not watch Scarborough's video. I would be interested to find out if he got the Sydir Mitchell footage. He told me on the phone, the reason I bring this up, he told me on the phone today when I talked to him that he did get it. So go over to Tiger Bait if you want to see what I'm talking about as well. What I would say there is, listen, man, your mind starts wondering, though, when he got hurt, what you do at DT. Now, we'll talk about a lot about DT here to start off. But do you need to get another one in the portal? I'm still in the camp that I think that they did. Speaking of a guy that did get injured and did come back today, listen, I will always come in here and admit my wrongs. I did not think that I would see Jacobean Gillery this spring at all. At all. But yet, he was here, and I did not think he would come back from the Achilles and take individual drills and go through individual drills. I got to give Jacobean Gillery this, man. My man was going into today, and Jacobean Gillery, your defensive tackle as well, in individual drills, I thought was more explosive than I would have imagined him to be. Guys, we saw him on the sidelines literally 2 weeks ago hobbling on the sidelines. And I'm like, man, that does not look good. He was hobbling, man. Ask anyone that was there. And this is just some great news that you get here. My man was going through individual drills. And, man, from my eyes and seeing him today at practice, I retweeted or quote tweeted John Eads of WAFB, his footage, if you want to go see it. Dude did not look bad at all. And you know how I am on individual drills. Now, I tell you in every post-practice report, I'm not boring you with that stuff unless something stands out. Today that stood out to me is I thought that Jacobean Gillery looked good. I did not expect that that a low level of explosion. I didn't. Good on Jacobean Guillory. Big 90. You need all the help that you can get there. You need every single ounce of help that you can get there. You know, one thing that we do not talk about with this team coming out of last year, I guess because we just don't put any emphasis on it. How much did Jacobean Gillery's status not being there last year hurt you? You know, I don't know if Jacobean is a guy that you look and say a bona fide all SEC type of player. But when he went down last year, it's not something that we talk about often, like, oh, yeah, that stinks. But how much should we have been focused in on that? How much could he have helped plug up the middle last season? I still think that he would have definitely given you some solid reps here and there for sure. But now he's going into his final season, and this is it for him. Be honest with you, I think that a guy coming out in spring the way that he did today, it's a great sign. It's a very good sign. It also, for what it's worth, guys, this is why spring is important, because you see what he looks like with pads on. Kyle Williams can be there and say, okay. I mean, he tore his Achilles. Okay. I mean, he was fine today. That's why those reps matter, because you get a look. And then what if he goes out there and he looks really bad? Coach, he's slow. Coach, he's slow off the ball. He doesn't have any good explosion. Well, then you probably got to go in the portal. Then you feel pretty confident. Then you definitely need to go in the portal. I thought for what it's worth, in individual drills, there's only 20 minutes to view this now today. I thought he looked good to me. Staying along the defensive line here and for today's practice, things that stand out to me. I do think that the edge presence continues to make me get the heebie-jeebies in a good way. So maybe not the heebie-jeebies. I think that this edge unit continues to give me chills. Because they've had an impressive spring. I don't know what it's worth. And I will be the first to admit I have no idea for whatever it's worth about what you're doing at edge. Here's what I do know. What I do know is that I feel like every time that I go out there, every time that a practice happens, that every single day I walk away impressed by what I'm seeing at the edge position. Guys, somebody that stood out to me today for what it's worth was Dylan Carpenter. Nothing he did was special. Nothing that he did was unique or something that we've never seen. What was interesting to me about Dylan Carpenter today, he looked like he put on some size. He got some runs with the twos today, and okay, dude is a long, lengthy defensive edge. I still think that the three guys. There's a reason I haven't talked a lot about Butler, but I don't think that Butler or Carpenter, but has been as good or impressive as Pyburn, Relaford, and Payton. Not existent. That doesn't exist. I hope that unit can translate it, man, because I see that potential in that room. The potential in that room is high level. I can see a medium floor level for the edge unit, but man, I think that you got a high level of performance that can happen at edge. They constantly stand out to me. I think Patrick Payton, man, I hope that he rights the wrongs that was put on him from this past season, with a lot of Florida State people saying that he has no effort. Man, then it's not showing up in practice. It's not showing up there. He looked good. I said it last night. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. This keeps getting missed by me. Guys, I get called out for all the negative stuff, never get called out for the positive stuff. Guys, I feel uber confident about that one. And how about this? From Mr. Negative, If I'm Mr. Negative, then you best believe that what I've seen, if that's the label that I have, if that's the label that's being put on me, then me coming out here constantly, even in the negative pieces, saying that Edge is playing that well, I mean, what does that tell you? I thought they looked impressive. All right. Let's go to this. So the biggest, most interesting thing that happened today is not going to come from the players. It's going to come from the coaches. I think Brad Davis and Kyle Williams had some words today. I don't think Kyle taking no shit, if I'm being blunt with you. And neither was Brad, for what it's worth. Brad stood his ground too. Listen, I think that Brad Davis challenged. I think Kyle Williams challenged Brad Davis today. There was a situation that happened where the defensive lineman was doing something, and it's on double team drills. So 2 offensive linemen versus 1 defensive tackle or defensive player. And Brad did not like where the defensive lineman was lining up. And Kyle said, we're going to line up wherever we want to line up at. You can't tell us what to do. And they kind of started jawing back and forth. Brad said, you got the wrong dude. And Kyle said, some explicits. Here's all I know. Kyle Williams ain't going to take shit from nobody. He ain't going to take shit from you. He ain't going to take shit from nobody. And quite frankly, his unit won again today. Sadir Mitchell did not get moved. Mod Bro had a couple of good reps. Don McKinley, I thought went up against a guy in Tyree Adams who, guys, I got to be real. I just think Tyree's separating himself at the current moment. I think that defensive line room, for what it's worth, in these double team drills. So we go to these run game drills, and it's a double team drill where the offensive lineman versus 2 offensive linemen versus a defensive lineman. And Sadir Mitchell not getting moved. Ahmad Bro beating a double team of 2 of the guys that you would consider starters. I do wonder if, number one, that can translate more into the SEC, or is that just happening against you? If that's happening against you, and guys, it's just a day, it's just one day. But if that's happening against you, we got to figure some stuff up on this interior offensive line room. Guys, I'm not going to be negative here. Here's what I'd say. Not going to even point out players individually. I think I saw one good rep from your interior offensive line today. That coming from Braylon Moore. Other than that, I just don't. I think D-line, for what the media was able to see today, won. I think they won. I think that they are playing at a level at the current moment against your unit at the current moment where they're just winning that battle. Have no idea if that translates in week 1 or in the SEC. No clue. I still have my concerns. I have a lot of concerns about both of those units. A lot of concerns. Maybe not even concerns. I have a lot of questions. How about that one? Not even label it as a concern. I have a lot of questions about both interior lines of scrimmage. Are you tough enough there? And you know what? Jake Flint, you about to make your money, brother. You're about to make your money. You better get that interior unit ready to go. It's on him. At this point, it's on him. It's not on Brad Davis ain't in the locker room with him. It's on him. You got to get these guys ready to go, man. It is your job to make sure this unit up front gets ready to go. D-line's winning it. And not pointing anybody out specifically, I'll point out the good things, since people who say on Twitter that I never call out players and then they do and then they comment on our show, whatever. It was won by that. Another thing that stood out to me today, because okay, let's go to this before we ultimately go to safety. I love the versatility of what Mansour Delane has been utilized with, even tinkering with in spring. Outside, hash, doesn't matter. So when I mean outside or hash, I mean he's either playing the boundary at corner or in certain nickel situations or dime situations, he's been running in the slot. I love that versatility. Mansour Delane has been a person who has played that safety position. And he's somebody that I do think that can play that slot position for you. We've seen him play boundary corner and pick passes off. We've seen him play safety and pick passes off. We've seen him be really good in coverage in the ACC, who was not bad defensively or offensively a year ago throwing the football. Actually, the ACC was the number one conference in the country at throwing the football around. They even did it against the SEC and the Big Ten for what that's worth in those matchups that faced off. I look at Mansour Delane as the ultimate weapon if these young corners like DJ Pickett, I'm going to put Jakeem Jackson in that route because he's never really played and started. Can Ashton Stamps develop? I don't know. What I continue to notice at corner is, number one, you got a bona fide dude at DJ Pickett. I feel that confident in him. You have a situation where Mansour Delane has been moved all over the place, and I love the utilization of him. He is somebody that you can send if you need to. He is an intelligent human being now. He's a very intelligent human being. I feel like when I see Mansour Delane at practice, I feel like I'm seeing a guy that a coach doesn't really have to always correct, that he's just always doing the right thing. That's how I feel about it. Now, I'm not saying that Corey has never come down on Mansour Delane. It's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is I feel like I'm just seeing an experienced guy that's been there before. And quite frankly, the last time that LSU had any form of presence at corner was when you went and got older dudes in the portal that it meant something to them. Guys, Jared Bernard Converse, he will never be notified or noticed, or nobody will talk about Jared Bernard Converse. Nobody will talk about Mekhi Gardner. Guys, they played really good. They gave up some touchdowns. It's okay. I do think it's the best unit by a mile. I think it's the best unit the best, most talented unit that you've had at minimum since 2022. And if you got 2022 corner play again, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I will take Jared Bernard Converse picking off Bryce Young in the red zone, in the end zone in the red zone. I will be interested to see what happens with Mansour. Safety. Gus, listen, call me whatever you want to call me. I literally just brought up 6 positive things. I cannot walk away without talking about this. I feel like it is my job to be real with you, and I am going to be real with you. My realness is I don't feel like that overall there you are ready at all. I do feel like that that Sean Spears has made a really good leap and has done some really good things. I do not believe that you're ready there. Have no idea what just happened there. I do not believe you're ready. I think that you have, for what it's worth, potentially developed a guy at safety in Deshaun Spears. I'm seeing a lot of recorrecting individual drill stuff that guys should know. I see too much of having to explain stuff to a guy like Joel Rogers in year 2. I mean, guys, he's almost through his another spring. Cooley, I mean, some of this fundamental stuff that you should have. That worries me. Always having to correct and just not doing a drill right. I know that sounds petty, but I don't feel confident there. Edge, corner, and look, I will talk about tackle, and I'll get back to offensive line in just a moment. Tackle, and receiver, guys, those 4 or 5 positions, I feel that you're as talented in the SEC as anybody. I really do mean that. Really, I do. Receiver, corner, tackle. But, man, I feel like they're glaring holes. Pause. I do feel that they're there. Here would be my wrap-up of the day if I had one. It's day 1 coming off of a break. A lot of the same stuff happened. A lot of the same position groups stood out to me. There's no throwing around when the media is out there, so we didn't get to see that. We got to see warm-ups by quarterbacks. That's it. The wrap-up for me would be simple. I think that LSU has the chance in some of these positions to be very solid, more than solid, borderline, at one of them, elite. I do like what I've gotten out at tackle from Tyree Adams this spring. And, guys, I got to be real with you. I feel like from what I've seen from Weston Davis over the last 4 weeks, has been somewhat impressive. Guys, Weston Davis started off spring, and you're like, oh, goodness, this has not been great. Because Weston Davis is coming to his own in some of these situations. They've really pushed him, but guys, in some of these run game drills, some of these pass pro drills, he's been very solid. If I'm going to continuously get that level of production, or not even production, if I'm going to get that level of development, guys, I think tackle's a position. Tyree Adams is not somebody that we talk about at all, ever here. You know why? Because nothing's getting past him. The one long run that you had along the left side, Tyree Adams had a massive block. Guys, when they're going on pass pro and you got Patrick Payton on him and he's making a really good pass rush specialist, look, I don't even know the verb, but he's making it look easy at times for him. There was a rip move by Patrick Payton. He gets his hands on the outs or inside of the rib. He's able to stand down. Patrick Payton tries to spin back into the inside. He's got quick feet to move back up and get that right hand jab back in there, and he wins the rep. And I'm like, man, that's a good rep. That's solid stuff that we've seen from Tyree Adams at left tackle. In the run game, I got to be honest with you, I've seen some violence coming from Weston Davis the last couple of weeks. Some real violence. I do feel like that has happened because Josh Thompson came here 2 weeks ago, and Josh Thompson was right there. And I think that Weston Davis in that competition has pushed himself. So you have a situation, in my humble opinion, or corner, tackle. I thought DT's had a good day, but they got to be more consistent there on an everyday basis. I've talked about edge a lot, and I will continue if I need to. But, man, receiver's been very solid too. You got a lot of speed out there. There's a lot of positions that you look and you see the improvement and development happening, and then we'll see more this Saturday, and we'll see more this fall what that looks like.